With the recent physics updates in Gran Turismo 7, I thought we'd seen the end of the super fast Sardegna World Touring Car 800 builds. However, I found something. This car now is incredible again. So yes guys, I managed to get the Mazda 787B back to the top, back to the king spot at Sardegna World Touring Car 700, and this tune for update 1.50 and beyond is not a great deal slower than it was in the previous versions of Gran Turismo. I think it's only about 30 seconds slower, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So the Mazda 787B is only available from legendary dealers, so head over there and the car will be available on rotation in legendary dealers, so keep checking back. Whenever you see it, make sure you grab it because it's going to be an incredibly useful car for you in Gran Turismo 7. And the event we will be using the car is over at World Circuits. Head over to Europe, head over to Sardegna Road Track, and then all the way across to Sardegna World Touring Car 800. This is the 485,000 credit reward race. So for the race strategy, this car is incredibly fast, but it can be a little bit wild on corner exits, so feel free to put traction control to number 2 just to calm the car down on corner exits, especially in second gear. Now I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to go full manual, and then you'll see how difficult the car can be to drive, but it's engaging and fun. You will learn how to drive the car if you are using without TC, but feel free to use it as a bit of a safety net. Now the first lap of the race is really just working through the traffic, just to get to the front of the field to allow you to then put in those hot laps and get a fantastic race time. Through this sweeping corner, second gear, just blending onto the throttle because you can spin up the tyres on corner exit there. Hopefully the gap's going to appear. Yes, it does. Now this car has a bit less high speed understeer compared to the previous tune, but yeah, it's still not the best at high speed steering. Through this kink here is where the AI gets incredibly confused, so you have to run around the outside and then just throw it to the inside here. The gap just disappeared right there for us, so making a bit of a difficulty on this first lap, but once we get the AI clear, then we can start to progress forward. And this car does not have the high RPM turbocharger on it. It does have no turbocharger at all, which gives the car good throttle responses, no turbo lag on corner exits, and the car is actually quite predictable on corner exits. So head over to the fuel now. We've got 7 laps of fuel, which is going to get us that 8 laps. No problem at all. Braking just at the start of the curb, down to second gear for the first corner, blending onto the throttle on corner exit, sweeping through this series of corners here, and now we're looking to put a move on the Toyota ahead now, braking down 2 gears in the second for the first part of this chicane, all the way down to the first for the second, short shift to second on corner exit, and we're going to get the drag race, losing running out of track there. Second gear through this long left-hander, blending onto the throttle. Keep an eye out for the revs because you can hear the revs start to peak, and that's when you know the wheels are spinning and you need to get ready to catch the car. In fact, I think in the most recent physics update, the cars are a little bit easier to catch. Now braking just before the 150 board into this big braking zone for the corner here. Now you heard the car just peak up the revs there. We're able to catch the car on corner exit, and it does feel incredibly fun and engaging to drive. Downshift 1 gear for this left-hander. You can run a little bit onto the grass on the corner exit there, just before the 100 board into the final big braking zone. First gear and a short shift to second on corner exit, revving it out all the way up through the gears, and we're going to get on to chase down Portilla for the lead and the win of this race. Opened up with a 1 minute 31, which is pretty handy, I think. Braking at the start of the curbs, second gear through the first corner, and we are catching Portilla absolutely crazy. So We're going to get ahead of Portilla before we get into the braking zone for the kind of S bend here. And that is the lead of the race now. We're just going to execute safe, fast laps to get us to the end of the race, and we are good. Well, let me give you a bit of a lap guide and pick out some reference points. At the start of the curb on the right hand side, so we get on the brakes all the way down to first gear, and then just short shift up to second gear for the corner exit. And then we just flat out through this sweep of corners here. The 50 board on the right hand side is what we're looking for. Just before the 50, brake and trail into this left-hander, and then all the way down to the first gear for the right-hander. Careful on corner exit, the car can spin up in second gear. 50 board again is what we're looking for. Just brake, downshift into second gear. We just missed the apex there, but we want to carry the speed onto the back straight now. So again, a little bit wild on corner exit there. So the 150 board is the braking reference point. Just before, I think, is safe. So as the 150 goes above the visor in the car, all the way down to second gear, short shift at the apex, just to get the car a bit more settled. You see, listen to the car spin up there, flat out through this section on this right-hander. Just lift a bit. We missed the apex there. Downshift for the left, and then run the car a little bit over the curb. You can do that pretty safely. 100 board is the braking point for the final big stop. Down to first gear, short shift to second on corner exit. Get on the gas to get across there. We're finishing lap number 6. This might be a good lap. Can get onto the straight flat out, but a little bit of confidence lift is okay, and we are starting to hit lap traffic, so it's going to be 1 minute 31 and a lot of cars exiting the pits. So lap number 8 will be our pit lap. So with 0.5 laps of fuel remaining, we're going to throw it into the pits, put a brand new set of racing medium tyres on it, and we're going to fill just past the diamond, which is pretty much a full tank of fuel, and that's going to get us to the end of the race. And guys, as always in the pits, we always talk about this. If you want anything from GT Omega, then please check out the links in the description below. I've got an exclusive discount code for 5% off all of the GT Omega products. I use the GT Omega Classic wheel stand, the RS6 seat, and I absolutely love it. It really does really enhance the enjoyment of racing Gran Turismo 7. So when we exit the pits, guys, make sure we keep all the way to the right hand side, because we don't want to be clattered by somebody coming down on the main straight, and that's going to get us a safe pit exit. Now we can rejoin the race, and we are good to execute this strategy to get this car across the line. Bit of an awkward finish to the race, catching traffic at a very awkward point, but we're going to get across the line, run to the line. I'm going to put a lap on Portilla at the end of this rocket ship, and it's going to be 23 minutes, I think 23 minutes 29 seconds. Now again, it was a pretty scrappy race, but a bit of a crack on the headlight, but let's see what it was. So it was 23 minutes 29 seconds, so I was a second faster than I did previously. My best lap was a 1 minute 30.2, which is absolutely solid lap time. I think I could probably sneak into the 1 minute 29. We do of course get the 727,500 for completing the race with the clean race bonus. Even though I smashed off a bunch of cars in that race at Sardegna, it's incredibly hard to lose the clean race bonus. I think only track limit and yellow flag infringement may cause you to lose it, but that's incredibly rare to happen. So here is all the details of the tune that I use. So I have switched back to racing medium tyres, and I've taken a bit of power out of the car compared to the previous 800 pp build. So racing medium tyres front and rear. Here are the suspension settings. Now these have remained pretty similar from before, and again it is a very soft front suspension setting versus very stiff rear suspension setting to help to bring some steering back into the car. Toe angle is 0 at the front, and it's only 0.05 at the rear. Perhaps if you're suffering with rear grip on corner exit, you can raise the rear toe in. That should help you out a little bit. For the rear differential, initial torque is set to 5, acceleration sensitivity is set to 15, and braking sensitivity is set to 5. Minimum on braking sensitivity to allow the car to try and turn when you're on the brakes or coasting in mid-corner. Moving over here, we've got the fully customizable racing transmission, and it's set to 380 km/h top speed, and I do not do any manual gear adjustments, but here are the ratios if you get lost and you need to copy them. I have got 100 on the power restrictor, -50 on the ballast positioning, and 72 kilograms of ballast. I've got the ECU, it is the fully customizable ECU, which is the standard one. That is set to 100, so we're using maximum power from the standard car. Rear downforce is 1499, almost maximum, and the front downforce is 521, which is almost minimum. I do not have the high RPM turbocharger installed. I don't really change the front and rear brake bias, but you can tune that and change that on the fly depending how you want the car to drive. And I do not use the steering angle kit, and nothing else is installed in the car. So here is the tuning sheet. If you do want to know more about toe angle and how it affects the car, because it's incredibly useful, I've got a full video on my channel. It will be on screen in the middle right now for you. You can use the toe angle to change the way the car feels, whether it understeers, oversteers, rear grip, on throttle, off throttle, and it has no effect on the PP at all. So this is completely free for you to choose. Check out the video on screen, and we'll catch you in the next one.